Please, go ahead.
Okay. I'm a member of the Arroyo Homeowners Association, and I'm here to protest this morning the street vacation. I think if any one of you here were ever to drive into this neighborhood and see all of these single-family homes to this cul-de-sac street, you would wonder why a developer ever got a zone change in the first place. The condo development is highly controversial and has been for many years. Our neighborhood has unsuccessfully fought the zone change, which would allow this out-of-character condominium development to be existing in single-family homes. If you read the Northeast General Plan, it's totally out of context with the ideals that are in there. There will be adverse impacts. You can't build a condominium complex in a residential area on a cul-de-sac street without them. To not be able to mitigate the noise and traffic or how this is going to change the character of our neighborhood should not be allowed.
Rob Mendel.
Good morning. I also am a member of the Arroyo Neighborhood Association. I'm proud to be here today and claim the dubious honor of speaking on the oldest city council file item on your agenda today. In 1973 this began. For 7 long years, the residents in our neighborhood have been through a crash course in politics, city planning, and betrayal. In 1990, our councilman took the stand that we supported, which was to object to an environmental impact report prepared in 1985 on a condominium development tract map application that would tear 45,000 cubic yards of earth out of a natural hillside and export it out of our neighborhood. At that time, he said, I strongly believe that the issuance of a mitigated negative environmental declaration without any scrutiny was unjustified, end quote. This was written to John Parker. But since that time, and despite vigorous public participation and vigorous notifications of the City Council and the Planning Department of our objections to a 1985 environmental impact report, there has been a change of heart on the part of our councilman. Property rights in America are, of course, very important things, and a significant investment that this developer made by purchasing the property from Mike Sims should be taken into consideration. 7 years ago, when Mike Sims brought the property up to the council, and our old buddy Art Snyder came in as his lobbyist, and we all had to stand here and object so that the city council would listen, and we actually had to like stand here at the city hall and say, look guys, if you allow them to build that project as designed, the fire trucks are going to sit at the base of the hill and roast marshmallows with all the residents while the place burns to the ground because there's no fire egress. And we brought the city trucks up there and they couldn't turn around, and they said, yeah, we got to put an egress. So we learned a lot. We learned that if we don't participate, stupid safety things will be allowed to be permanently built in our neighborhood. We learned that talk is cheap, and that supporting the idea of the 1985 environmental impact report, which has a 3-year life, well, it only has a 3-year life if the item on the planning tract map has only a 3-year life. Otherwise, it can go on pretty much into perpetuity up to 6 years, unless, of course, we decide to just sue and try to attack the credibility of the environmental impact report in a court of law. We all check our pockets and we went, well, we're just middle-class urban pioneers living in Northeast Los Angeles. We can't afford to sue a big developer. We can't afford to challenge an environmental impact report in a hillside and that was given a mitigated negative. I guess our problems are political. And we check with our lawyer and they go, your problems are political. Your problems aren't legal. So we appealed to our councilman.
Heard about the story you wrote.
He took our side for a while, and then he's taking their side. So the even money today is you're going to approve a street vacation for Hillside, and you're going to eliminate the last chance to provide another egress from a community of 256 homes that were built in the canyon in 1960. We're the long shot money here, me and Mary. We're just going to come and say, hey, we've dealt with good faith with the developer. If this project has to go in, we want it to be good. We're glad that it's not 17, and we thank our councilman for bringing things back to where they were. A letter we learned to the city planning department on the part of a developer can actually just overturn a planning action from 17 to 22 units without any public participation.
Mr. Mandel, would you wrap up your discussion here, please?
I understand, it's been 7 years. It's a pretty complicated case. This is a little bit like deja vu for some of you here. This street vacation hearing is only happening today because the developer who bought it from Mike Sims accidentally let the entitlement expire. And that kind of carelessness kind of bothers the residents that we're going, well, geez, if he's going to let his entitlement expire accidentally, well, is he going to build it out of plaster in Paris? Or is he going to do it right? I mean, man's not from our country, and he came here and he was complaining that he bought this with its entitlements. How come he can't build 22? He didn't know there was public problems. He didn't know that there was objections. And our response to that was caveat emptor, you know.
All right.
Do your homework. Well, we've done our homework, and we learned a lot. And we learned that basically we can stand up here all day and talk if you'll let us, but you won't.
No, we won't let you.
And nothing will actually change the course of politics and planning. You got a problem in your planning department. We read about it in the papers. You got a problem with making promises in the newspaper about bringing expired environmental impact reports to the city attorney, but then not choosing to choose the developer's property rights point of view. Our problems are political. We learned, and now we're going to be a vigilant community action, and by golly, that building and safety haul route approval will be followed to the letter, and those hours will be respected.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Mendel.
Well, I understand you have a lot of important business to go through.
Okay.
It's been 7 long years.
That closes the public hearing. We have a motion. Any discussion? If not, prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes, 1 no.